Good morning, family. It's a wonderful Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Most High God, for giving us the grace, the ability, the strength, the tenacity to continue to be here. We are grateful indeed. Glory be to God. We see a few of our people are here. Amina, you're here. Ogukudu. Good morning, Israel. Angela, good morning. Indeed, it's a beautiful Saturday. Emmanuel Livinas, Bulebi, welcome. Yes, your consistency also makes me proud of my consistency. Nancy, oh amen. Mommy, good morning. Daddy, good morning. Hope, Ibe, Olutomi, Lacey, Oya, Sheye, morning. Bidemi, Nancy, Chibike, Divine Gift, Landjet, Dennis, Aonli, Isosa, Erica, Ebikweluye, Ikechukwu, George, Davis Faith, Eze Philip, Chineye, Kayode, Chiwendu, Queen Esther, yes. Good to see you all, and thank you for joining us. This is day 16. Wow. We are grateful to God for the privilege, and we receive the wisdom, the wisdom of God today. As we study it, it becomes flesh in us, and his word becomes light to us. It illuminates our path. It illuminates our decisions. It illuminates our relations and relationships. God's word illuminates our destiny in Jesus' name. Amen. So glad to have us all here today. Proverbs chapter 16 is our text, and we go right in. Verse 1 says, mortals make elaborate plans, excuse me, but God has the last word. Regardless of the plans we have for 2024, the final word is with God. If that tells us anything, it tells us to hold on tight to God so that we are in him. It shows us that we should give him his place and his respect, and as we've seen in previous days and previous chapters, so that he can also give us the respect. Yes, because he said God had respect unto his sacrifice. God has respect unto the person who honors him, so that his word will always also favor us. Humans are satisfied with whatever looks good. God probes for what is good. It's not enough to look good. It has to be good. This is one of the reasons why we need close proximity to God, so that he can find his own way to explain to us, to show us in the way we understand, so that we see what is good that is different from what looks good. If you can hear me loud and clear, say, I hear you. We also live on Instagram today. We got the notification yesterday that we can go live on Instagram now from StreamYard. So all our Instagram people, if you're there, say, I hear you. I can't see the chats right now. Let me try and check, see if I can see that. All right. If you can say something in the chat, I would Love to see. I hear. Oh, yes, I see. Osaze says, I hear you. Thank you so much. Glad that you're here with us today. Fantastic. So put God in charge of your work. Then what you've planned will take place. Because hard work is important, God work is kind of more important, because we can work hard and not have the fruition of our desires. But when He's in charge, it might take long, it might be grueling, but the one thing we'll be sure of is that if God is involved, it will work, it will come to pass in the end. So we need Him in all that we do. God made everything with a place and a purpose. Even the wicked are included. They have a purpose, and their purpose is for judgment. Everything has its place. Everything has its place. Everything has a purpose. Everything, every single thing. This helps us deal with situations that come by us. The biggest challenge is sometimes we don't know what the purpose and the place is. So we're confused, like, God, why am I in this situation that seems to be so painful? What is the purpose for this? Is my pain part of your purpose? Because we don't know in that moment, in that instant, why am I in this awkward, painful place? What is the purpose for this pain? Sometimes we find out, sometimes we don't. The trust that He knows what He's doing, regardless of whether I know it or understand it, that's where peace comes from. Many times that's where strength comes from. Like, I have no clue what you're doing, God, but I rest in the fact that you know what you're doing, and what you're doing will always have good for us in the end. That's where peace comes from. That's where strength comes from. God can't stomach arrogance or pretense. Believe me, He'll put those braggarts in their place. So Joyce, check. Where is pretense going on in your life today? Where is arrogance going on in your life today? Just check. Pretense can be so subtle, where we get so used to showing up a certain way, we are no longer in touch with vulnerability and truth. So where is pretense going on? Sometimes, and now let me use myself as an example, maybe because I have been looked up to as a coach, I've been looked up to as a mentor, a role model. Sometimes you wonder, where should I let my guard down? Where should I show that I'm only human too? Where should I show that I'm also vulnerable? So should I continue to always be strong, and then would I slide into the place of pretense? Or can I come before my Father and say, Lord, you know right now that I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just making one day at a time, right? Even if I would pretend to the world, which in my own case I don't, or I put up a certain look for the world, I can't pretend where God is. I have to be open. I can't even if we try to pretend, who is fooling who? He sees the truth. He'll put braggarts in their place. So I don't want to be a braggart. I don't want to say I have what I don't have. I don't want to say that I am what I am not. I don't want to say I can do what I cannot do, so that it doesn't slide or slip into the place of arrogance or pretense. And this is just a word of caution for all of us. Who was I speaking with the other day? A neighbor of mine, a dear friend, and he was saying he got an offer for a particular job that was so good, and there was a particular skill he was asked for, to say, we would need to occupy this role, we would need you to have this skill. And the temptation was to say, oh yes, I have it, let's move on, and then get on the job and look for how to sublet it, or well, wing it. In fact, some people said you should take, not be Nigeria every day. When you take it, when you reach there, all of them are going to talk true. And I think everybody they talk true. And he was like, how am I going to deal with God? How am I going to share that testimony and say, I got in when they were expecting all of these, but I know that I cannot deliver on this. It's a tough place to be. But when we err, as it were, err on the side of caution, err on the side of righteous, err on the side of truth, side with the truth, then we'll be all right. Guilt is banished through love and truth. Imagine if that friend of mine, for example, took that job and every day he was showing up on the job with all that guilt because he knows I took this job saying I could do what I cannot do. Guilt is taken care of with love, love that is patient, that is kind, that doesn't bear record of wrong, love that believes the best of others, and truth. Please, this is my truth so I can sleep well. Fear of God deflects evil. Let's still talk about this guilt that might be eating someone this morning, wherever you are. It just might be where you are. There's something that has happened and the guilt is eating you, is draining you. Perhaps, perhaps, perhaps what you need to do, perhaps what you can do is to unearth truth. Speak to the people who are important to speak to, the people who are concerned in this case, and come clean with the truth so you can sleep, so you can rest. There was a movie you saw many years ago. I don't know the name of the movie. It had this guy. Oh my gosh, what's his name now? This guy who has acted as Batman. He has acted as, oh gosh, I can see his face. I'm not going to let you go now. So in the movie, Christian Bale, that's his name. Christian Bale. In the movie, we saw a part where he was going to an airport. He was speaking with someone. It was a funny state. The movie was funny. He would speak to this lady at the airport. He went to the police station and he said, I'm here to report a crime. And they said, what's the crime? And then he turned and left the police station. And then we saw that in the movie, he would get into his house. He wouldn't be able to eat. You know, it was just funny, and he was losing weight. I'm sorry that I'm not able to describe the movie properly. And we just saw that with every scene, he seemed to be losing weight. There was something that was bearing, that was something that was hanging over him that he couldn't let go. He tried to build a relationship with this woman that was a waiter, and he would go to her. It's like he wanted to ask her out, but he couldn't. He was building a relationship, but he couldn't. At the end of the movie, that was when we understood the whole movie. He went to the police station and said, I'm here to report a crime. This was at the end of the movie. Another time, at the beginning, he went to the police station and left. Now, this was the end. He said, I'm here to report a crime. It was a hit and run. And they said, oh, where did it happen? What happened? And he said, I hit the person. So apparently what happened at that move at the beginning was it was in a split moment of wrong judgment. He hit a child. And the child died. And he couldn't go back to own it. So he ran away. He saw that the child was hit and the child died. He ran away, but he traced the child. He knew that the child died. And that woman in that lady whom he was trying to ask out apparently was the mother of that child. So he was trying to find a way to make amends for his guilt, but he couldn't do it until he finally reported himself. And then for the first time in 1 year, I think it was 1 full year, he slept. He had not slept in 1 year. He had lost so much weight. I always remember that when I think of this. Truth will release guilt. If you would like to see that movie, The Machinist, yes, please, that's the movie. I think I should see it again because it was so deep. Like, guilt can kill if we are holding on to it until the day we open up and say, okay. So it might be someone here And it doesn't mean you need to go on the social media platforms of your life and say, oh, see what I did. No, it might just be one person you need to go to and say, see what happened. This was the truth. This was my role in it. And then your guilt can be let go of. It just might be someone here. When God approves of your life, even your enemies will end up shaking your hand. Your enemies will end up shaking your hand. So we need God's approval. Because when the enemies are shaking your hand, it means they're also surrendering to you, or at least they are letting you be. And the enemies might be people you don't even know. And I don't want anyone here looking over your shoulder saying, who is my enemy? Who is my enemy? Well, I don't want to do that. That's not the idea for us to know who the enemies are. It's to know that when God approves of us, even those who were supposed to be enemies, who would see to our downfall, will come around and shake our hands, and they would have no choice but to be part of those who lift us up. It is far better to be right and poor than to be wrong and rich. It is far better to be right and poor than wrong and rich. Please, this does not mean that those who are rich are wrong and those who are poor are right. No, please don't confuse the two. It is saying that it is far better to be right and yet stay poor than to be wrong and get rich in your wrongness and your wrongfulness. So let's choose right over riches. That's the bottom line here. Right over riches, because riches have a way of finding their way back to the right if the right know how to attract the riches. But it is right that would give us the peace, the legacy, and the oneness with God that would earn us the respect of God. So please today, write in the chats with me, type it in, right over riches. But it's best to be right and rich. Come on, somebody. Say right and rich. Verse 9. Verse 9. We plan the way we want to live, but only God makes us able to live it. We plan it, but only God makes us able to live it. Please note, this means we must have plans. We cannot be planless and think God will manifest something that was not planned or orchestrated. We need to orchestrate our wins. We need to learn the ropes to winning. It is that plan, those plans and orchestrations that God will honor and give us the ability to live. God will hardly give us something we don't already have a plan for. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have his surprises, right? It means that we plan and then God gives the grace to make it happen. Plan it. So don't not plan because you say you're trusting God. Plan, and then God will make the plan come true. A good leader motivates, doesn't mislead, doesn't exploit. So we're all checking ourselves today. Am I exploiting? Am I misleading? Am I saying one and not saying the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Am I motivating? We're right here at the mirror. Say the word of God is like a mirror, right? You take a look in the mirror, and then you take dressing, you adjust your hair, you remove the things in your teeth. So we're at the mirror, and the mirror is saying, are you leading right? Are you exploiting? If the answer is yes, if the answer is yes to leading right, if the answer is yes to exploiting, change, turn around. God does care about honesty in the workplace. Your business is his business. If my business is God's business, then I need to be honest. I need to be straightforward with my clients. I need to be straightforward with the people I work with. I mean, this scripture right here is a game changer. If this is God's business that I run, I cannot afford to mess up. I cannot afford to play in the dirt. I cannot afford to misappropriate his income that has come through me, because my business is his business. I mean, if this is what we take home today, we would have won. My business is God's business. The effort to put into great customer service is because my business is God's business. As much as I want to give my customers a good experience, I remember that this business is God's business. The reason I want to do my research, my preparation for my client-facing engagements is because this business is God's business. I have to represent him well. The reason why I'm ensuring corporate governance is in place, my books are in order, my taxes are returned, my filing is being done, I'm reporting to the board as and when due. Why? My business is his business. I have the customer, what do you call them now? The checklists that I send ahead to my customers, to my clients, to be sure we are all on the same page. Why? My business is his business. Before I take that business loan, I want to be sure that I am committed to doing the work, to generating the revenue that would help us service this loan, this facility, as and when due, because my business is his business. Let that sink in. What I do is God's business. This thing which I do is God's business. It's a game changer when we understand it this way. It's a game changer when we see it this way. My business is God's business. Good leaders abhor wrongdoings of all kinds. Sound leadership has a moral foundation. When morality is thrown to the wind, leadership can never be sound. I repeat, when morality is thrown to the wind, thrown to the gutters, gotten rid of, leadership can never be sound. There will always be questions in that leadership. It means that when morality is missing, we would allow all sorts of other wrongs, and we would say the end justifies the means. When morality is in question, that leadership will never, cannot be sound. And we see it play out every day in different places, including national leadership, political leadership, governance. Governance cannot be better than the foundation on which it is laid. If that foundation is immoral or illegal, leadership will struggle. Leadership will struggle. Joyce, let your leadership be based on morality. Morality, doing what is right. Doing what is right. Let your leadership be based on this. Your leadership cannot be based on lies and tricks and cheating and deception. It will choke you. It will choke you, Joyce. Good leaders cultivate honest speech. They love advisors who tell them the truth. So please check, Joyce. And when I say Joyce, I'm referring to myself. If you run away from people who are telling you the truth, trouble. The truth sometimes will be bitter, but accept it. Allow it flow. Search for it. It will help you cultivate honest speech. And for those of us who work with our leaders, our bosses, our parents, our superiors in whatever sphere we find ourselves, we owe them the truth. And the truth takes courage to say. The right place, the right time, but the truth will be said. Someone will say to you, don't go and say the truth now before I beg you go and jam rock. When they ask you, how did it go? Say, fantastic, rankadede. When they say, are we doing well? Say, yes, we are doing well. Be careful. Sir, ma'am, 2 things we can do to help us generate even better results. So now you didn't say, sir, ma'am, this thing we're doing is not right. You said, sir, ma'am, there is one way we can do this that would get us even more credibility, better results. It might be slower, but it will give us XYZ returns in the end. You're about to say the truth, but you're not castigating. This is what we call feed forward, right? Where you are saying what we can do better without necessarily focusing on what has been done wrong. I can say to my leader how we can do things better without telling him or her that they were wrong, because one of the laws of leadership is don't say to people you are wrong. Rather, show them how to improve. And if you must show them where they were wrong, then you will show them with the intent, and in the same sentence, show them how to correct that wrong and tell them the benefits. So rather than say, Oga, the way you were greeting those people now, no, that's not how they greet them. Oga, to greet them in a way that they would even be more endeared to you and show you more respect. Sir, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. See who else has been doing it this way, and this is the result they've been getting. So if we do our own this way too, we are bound to get the same kind of results. I see him. And Oga will say, okay, let's try that. So let's be truth bearers, even as we are advisors, truth bearers, always. An intemperate leader wreaks havoc in lives. You are smart to stay clear of people like that, people who are intemperate. You don't know when they will blow hot and blow cold. You are smart to stay clear because you really don't want them to wreak havoc in your life. Good-tempered leaders, on the other hand, invigorate lives. They're like spring rain and sunshine. How many of us want to be like spring rain and sunshine? We want to be soothing, yet we also want to give life. We want to give warmth, and we want to give energy for growth. Then it means we will be good-tempered. We cannot fly off the handle all the time. We cannot give pieces of our minds. We would maintain decorum when we work with the people we work with and when we correct them. Good-tempered leaders invigorate lives. That is for us today. Say, I am a good-tempered leader. GTL. Good-tempered is me, and I am good-tempered. Get wisdom. It's worth more than money. Choose insight over income every time. Why? Income flows to the person of insight. So if I were to choose insight, at the same time, I'm supposed to choose between insight and income. Wisdom is saying, in that very moment, choose insight. This can help you multiply the income to points you've never imagined. And I give you a typical example. I joined when I came. Okay, let me start the story from the beginning, as it were. When I returned from my political foray, I ran for local government chair earlier in the year, and then at At the point in May when I didn't get my ticket, I came back home to Lagos in June to say, what next? For a long time, I had lost appetite for my work as an MC, as a speaker, as a trainer. I really just wanted to be a political leader. Now, that didn't go as planned. Yes, hoping to get an appointment to serve in certain capacities. But whilst that was going on, it was what next? So I joined Gloria Dozien's program called the LinkedIn Visibility and Content Strategy Program. I joined that program because I'm on her mailing list, and many times I really wasn't reading her mail. But on one of those occasions, I read the mail, and everything that mail said was speaking to me. Are you an expert who needs to speak on this, but you need more visibility for that? You would see how to do this, how to do that. I was like, everything here is me. So I joined the program. And boy, was my mind blown. I began to see myself in higher levels. The insight was real. Like, I have been seeing myself as this. The quality of insight was now going like this. How did that affect my income? How has that affected my income? Tremendously. I can't tell you the exact percentage right now, but I know that we'll do that computation before the end of the year. Or well, early next year, we'll do that computation. But my income this year per event, per outing, has been at least 50% more. In some cases, 100%, just because of the quality of insight I got into me, my destiny, my offerings. The quality of income has changed. I didn't change. My insights changed. Then I decided from Glory's program, I realized that I needed to create something. So I went, of course, to Stephanie Obi, and some of you have heard me say this again, over and again, and I joined her program, Done in a Week, create an online course in a week. And I joined that because I could see that the kind of program I wanted to create, the online course, had to be more specific and help me earn so much more. So I went for insight. I went to the person who could teach me the insight. And she taught me the method to create a course that I had never, ever heard before. Now, I saw this, I stumbled on this ad on Instagram where they said, oh, you learn how to create your course in 30 days. And there were so many things. Day one, day two, what you would do here, there was so much. I was like, I went to Steph, and her own was just, we'll do this, we'll do that. I said, this looks like me. So I went here. And one of the major things I took away was the more specific. Now, I've known this all these years, but now the insight to how to make it was expanded. The more specific my solution, the more I can ask in exchange for it. But all I wanted to do was I wanted to create a course where I could teach 100 things, because I know so much. I always say there's nothing, absolutely nothing in the space of public speaking and presentation skills that I don't know. That thing does not exist. I mean, there is nothing. Pick me up from where I am sitting right now. Drop me anywhere in any room in the world and ask me any question about any side and part of public speaking and presentation skills. I have the answer without picking a pen or a notebook. I don't need to prepare. I am a living, breathing encyclopedia of what I know. So my course, I wanted to create a course that would be loaded with information. And I learned that, that is the one you will struggle to sell. That is the one you will struggle to put a premium on. I was like, hey, my head, I know so much. So what do I decide to choose? And she took us through the rudiments of finding that specific message. Look, the insight from that program blew my mind. It made me so uncomfortable. It destabilized me, confused me for some days, because I was like, how am I supposed to choose from all these things I know? But we got to the end and we chose. And I tell you, I have already begun to earn much more from this one program than from all the programs I have ever created. And yet this one is just this. So that reminds me of that story that many of us heard before of some organization. Now, I don't know if it was fictional or true, but I think it was a true story. They were talking about a refinery where there was a problem, and they had called all sorts of engineers to fix the problem. And they would come, they would check. They would try different things, it wouldn't work. And then they called this man who was a retired engineer, and he came into the factory. It was a refinery, or well, factory. He would go to a certain place and he would say, put this one on, he would listen. He would go to somewhere else, say, put this one on, he would listen. And he went listening. And after everything, he said, give me a spanner. They gave him a spanner. He walked to one spot and hit that spot. He didn't twist, turn, or anything. He just hit it maybe 1 or 2 times. Bam, bam. And then he said, check this, check that. Everything was working well. And when he submitted his bill, it was $10,000. And they're like, $10,000 for what? What did you do that you're charging $10,000? He said, it is not about what I did. It's about knowing what to do, exactly where to hit. Okay, I think they were saying, how could you only hit something and you're charging $10,000? He said, I knew exactly where to hit, how many times to hit it. I was so specific. No other engineer you brought could have given you the insight that I brought. So it was not about hitting once. It's about, what did I hit? Where did I hit it? Hey, guess what? Look, insight over income. Income will follow insight. So you that has been fighting with yourself all day, there's a program you want to pay for. You've looked at it front and back. You've seen the insights to bring you, but you already say, I think I can't spend this money. You're robbing yourself. You are robbing yourself. Go for that insight and let it bring you your income. If you've ever attended any training of mine for masters of ceremonies, the last time I had a live training was, wasn't that before COVID? That was 75,000. And I said to everybody who attended, one of the reasons why I'll allow you pay that amount, which was a lot for some people, because some people hadn't yet earned up to 75,000 per event. It was amazing, but it was the truth. And I said, one thing, if there is nothing else, the fact that you've invested 75,000 in yourself, now when you are asked what your bill is to MC an event, the least your mouth can say is what? 75,000. And some people were like, oh, wow, I didn't see it that way. Oh, yes, that's true. I actually know this now, and I know that now. I said, so I forbid any of you here to go out and they say, what is it you're going to earn? This was, I think, 2018 or 2019, I had that program. I think it was 2018. Or was it 2017? I said, the least you can do when you go out there now is ask for 75K. So I had people in that room who the highest they had earned was 30K per event, 40K, 50K. Guess what? Within 2 months, people were sending me a message, Ma, I have collected 100K. Ma, see, somebody sent me a screenshot then to say, see, somebody had just paid me 75,000 for this event. I would never have even asked for 75,000. I said, give me what you have. But the insights they got, of course, coupled with the money they paid, gave them the opening of the mind that the least they could earn going forward per event will now be 75,000. Insight will bring you income. So don't forsake insight because you want to earn income. There are some jobs you will let go of because at that time you will be in school learning. Oh, yes. You will be in school doing what? Investing in yourself so that of a truth, your insight will multiply and then your income will be attracted. Ha ha ha. The road of right living bypasses evil. Watch your step, save your life. Once you see the evil in front, bypass so that we stay on the road of right living. First pride, then the crash. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall. Joyce, are you hearing? Joyce, are you hearing? Queen of Talk, you there? Yes, so if the crash is going to be hard, it is because the ego will be big. It will be because the pride is much. So when the pride is coming, when the ego wants to raise your shoulders, remind it that this is just the beginning of your journey that the Lord is taking you through, that you are just still on your way there. You never smell anything, and let that shoulder pad that wants to make you fall down, remove it and drop it on the floor. Pride can make us not ask for help. Pride can make us stop pitching for our services to be seen and noticed. Can you imagine a whole me queen of talk? I've been in this business 16 years. Then now I'll start writing letter of introduction of myself to organizations. How come they don't know me? Where then they says, under what rock have they been? Joyce, you will chop your eye. This is the year. 2024 is the year of pitching. Hey, yesterday I pitched to 2 people. Oh, I was supposed to be resting. Oh, there I was pitching. Why? Because 2024 is my year of pitching, where I'm telling you who I am and why I'm the best fit for this thing that you are preparing for this event, and why you need me in your space. Then your mind will now tell you, but Joyce, what if they say no? After they say no, they don't beat me. The worst I can hear is no. And then again, it will help me. No is always feedback. I can ask, why did you say no? And they might say, oh, it's because we have this other person already who is, okay, yeah. Oh, it was because your pitch wasn't clear. Feedback. Oh, so what was missing? You didn't really tell us what this, that. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me go and correct the pitch. Now, Justice Oyakomo, let's readjust slide 5. Add here this, that, and the other. Put these details. Okay, let me even send it to my coach to look at it first. And she'll say, Joyce, this slide 2 is not clear. Add this here. Take this one. Move it away. Because somebody said no. No is what? No is feedback. Let's go pitching. Let's go pitching. Mo Abudu said something. She said, my pitches are always like a world-class glossy magazine. Only when you see my pitch alone, you say your body goes soji. She said, even then, there are times you get a no, and then you get the feedback, and then you grow. But the pitch itself must be world-class. Oh, yeah. I really want to train MCs next year. I've not intentionally trained MCs in a while. I'm ready to, so that some of us will rise above some of the errors we are making, and then will not allow pride to stop us. I've been doing this thing 5 years. Is it now that I'll still be going to give them? I bet person don't pass this level. That's why you are where you are. Joyce, are you hearing? Yes. It's better to live humbly, than to live it up among the rich and famous. We're rubbing shoulders with others who are their bank details are making chakam, and you'll be using title. Don't let Queen of Talk keep you here because you are not humble enough to ask. It's better to live humbly among the poor, amongst those who are on their way on a journey, amongst those who are trying to get to the next level, than to live it up amongst the rich and famous. Meanwhile, you know, follow. It pays to take life seriously. Things work out when you trust in God. So the act of taking life seriously is shown by the evidence, or it's evidenced by trusting in God. A wise person gets known. Excuse me. A wise person gets known for insight. Gracious words add to one's reputation. Please, I'm taking this as a hallmark for 2024. If you will be in the business of reputation management, if you will be in the place of broadening and elevating your reputation, aka your brand and branding, one thing you will be known for is gracious words, meaning you will speak more. You will speak on platforms. You would intentionally show up to be heard, because the things you would be saying will expound insight. A wise person gets known for insight. If you will be known, it will be because you are delivering insight. You will be intentional about dishing out insights with gracious words. Your reputation will go up. What will follow reputation? Trust, respect, like, and then what happens? Income, quality of people. So if your reputation is going to get to the next level in 2024, you will speak You will speak with insight and gracious words. True intelligence is a spring of fresh water, while fools sweat it out the hard way. True intelligence is a spring of fresh water. If I'm going to sweat it out the hard way constantly, it means I'm lacking something, some level of true intelligence. True intelligence comes from where? Insight. So in 2024, follow insight, find insight, chase after it, run after it, buy the truth and sell it not. 23 says, they make a lot of sense. These wise folks. Who are the wise folks? Please identify yourself. Whenever they speak, their reputation increases. These wise folks. Identify yourselves, please. Where are the wise folks? Identify yourselves. They make a lot of sense. They make a lot of sense. These wiser nation people, they make a lot of sense. Whenever they speak, their reputation increases. Whenever they speak. So in 2024, where are you speaking? What platform are you creating for yourself to speak? Where are you showing up? What platforms are you going to ask to speak on? Because your reputation has to increase. Because when your reputation increases, your influence grows. And when your influence grows, it's easier to make impact in the lives of men. And it's also easier to earn an income. So we want income, we want impact. That's who we are. But many of us have been so hung up on impact that we have never really looked at the income part. We want to make impact. And sometimes the frustration is high because the impact is not bringing money. And we are finding that we are struggling. We're making impact, but we are struggling to cope with the bills, as it were. So no more speaking for impact alone. We speak for impact, and we speak for what? Write it in the chat. Write it. Influence, impact, income. And all of these are hinged on reputation. So if you've been saying to yourself, I know I need to say this, I know I need to speak more. You've been looking at going on Instagram Live or LinkedIn Live or YouTube Live, but you've been saying, Joyce, I beg, everybody's live, I beg. Are you serious? Wait. You want to measure your growth by what every other person is doing? Come back here. You are wiser than that. Which one concern you, concern another person where they sell Gary? Sell your own Gary. Hello? As long as you and I have known, have you ever gotten to market, say you won't buy Gary, then say, in this whole market, there's only one person that's selling Gary. On almost every row in market, you could see Gary. And in fact, two women, or let me say two people will be selling Gary right by each other. One disappears. You get to your customer's table and you say, where my Gary customer? Her neighbor will say, she walk out, she go collect palm oil there. But I go say for you now, customer, welcome. These are your customer. She get better customer. We they see you every day. Oh yeah, buy how much you want buy? 2,000. No, collect now. Collect. Make a come put am for you. I go pack am. When I go keep her money, raise them, keep the money. And when she comes, she go see her. But I go tell her, say her customer come. How your picking them? You know, carry them come today. Well done, no. Two people selling the same Gary, and one is able to sell for her neighbor. Look, if you would, whenever you find yourself wanting to make yourself small because there are other Gary sellers, because there are other people doing what you're doing, there are other people speaking about what you're speaking about, remember those people who are selling Gary. There's space for everybody. Yours will have a tincture of your own unique experience. Joyce, I want to go live, but reputation will increase, influence will increase, impact will increase, income will increase. Say it with me. Reputation will increase, influence will increase, impact will increase, income will increase, because you make a lot of sense. But how will people know you make a lot of sense if you don't speak? 24, gracious speech. Gracious speech is like clover honey. Good taste to the soul, quick energy for the body. See, this chapter is dealing with speech. 2024 is the year of gracious speech in your immediate environment at home and in your immediate environment as an influencer and on a larger scale, as a nation builder, a thought leader, it is time for you to dish out what? Gracious speech. There's a way that looks harmless enough. Look again, it leads straight to hell. Look again. So look again. Look what? Look again. Before you sign that document, look again. Before you take on that journey, look again. Before you start that business, look again. Now, this is different from second guessing to yourself, or second guessing yourself to the point of paralysis. No, this is looking again, just to be sure that you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's. Or is it crossed the I's and dotted the T's? Dotted the I's, crossed the T's. Look again. Appetite is an incentive to work. Hunger makes you work all the harder. Appetite is an incentive to work. Appetite for more. Appetite for more. Now you've gotten to the point in your life where you now want to be able to pay school fees for 100 people. That's appetite. You now want to be able to send your parents abroad on holiday. That's appetite. Your appetite has increased. Before, you would use only phones that are under 100,000. Now you see one phone, they call it Google Pixel 8 Pro, and they told you the phone is 1.1 million and the photographs are like this and like that. And now your appetite has increased, and you say, that's the phone I want. Now it's 1.1 million. So how can I make 10 million so that I'll use 10% to buy my phone? Appetite. So that's now an incentive to say, okay, so what can I do to ensure this 10 million comes in now? Hunger makes you work. And it may not be physical hunger. It could be hunger for greater influence, hunger for greater impact, hunger for greater reputation, hunger to be on a certain stage. I want to be. I am hungry for that stage. I want to speak at so and so conference. Every year, I see when they put up these banners and they pass by, and I look at it and I say, I can be a speaker at this place. So I have what it. I know it, but now how do I work it to ensure I am seen enough to be there? If I want to wait until they see me, I might wait 100 years old, but my appetite will make me put together my pitch and go there and do the work of saying, I would like to speak on this place, and this is what I will be speaking on, and this is how I will deliver this. And they go, okay, we've been looking for you. Glad you came in. In fact, we are glad you came. Wow. Our event this year will be richer because you came. Appetite is an incentive to work. Hunger makes you work harder. May you be hungry in 2024. Physically, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, may you be hungry. And may your hunger drive you to work all the harder. Because when God is on your side and then you know how to work hard, more you're made. You are what? Made. Mean people spread mean gossip. Their words smart and burn. That's not us. Because all that will come out of our tongues, of our mouths, will be gracious speech, making sense for impact, for influence, for income. Troublemakers start fights. Gossips break up friendships. None of us, none of y'all are going to be fight starters and gossips. Don't say the word they didn't send you. Somebody has told you something in confidence. Keep it to yourself. You might be tempted to bring it up as gist because it's sweet. We have gone beyond that. We are wiser. Calloused climbers betray their own friends. They stab their own grandmothers in the back because they are what? Calloused climbers. What is Google saying about calloused? Having an area of hardened skin. They've become hardened. What does it mean to become calloused? Feeling or showing no sympathy for others, hard-hearted, a callous indifference to suffering. Hey, Wiki, you need to, yeah. Whoo! Showing no sympathy. What does it mean to feel calloused, insensitive? They will stab even their own grandmothers. They will betray friends, betray constituents. May we never become calloused. May we never become calloused. May we always have the feelings of humanity feelings for humanity, feeling for right and morality. May we stay in the place of soft life. And when I say soft life, I mean in particular being soft to realities and not becoming so hard that we become calloused. In the name of Jesus Christ. A shifty eye betrays an evil intention. A clenched jaw signals trouble ahead. So observe, when people are playing cards and they say, I understand your tell. When you do your hand like this, I can tell that you're feeling. So when you watch, sometimes when somebody greets you too fast, it betrays something. Or when somebody, watch for signals. Don't become paranoid, skeptical, or cynical. Just become more observant that sometimes one thing shows another. A clenched jaw signals trouble ahead. You're greeting somebody and their jaw clenches before they respond to you. Maybe there's something that is amiss. Be observant, Joyce. Gray hair is a mark of distinction, the award for a God loyal life. Hallelujah. Grateful for mine. The award for a God loyal life. So don't run away from it. Embrace it. When we're growing up, when you see children with gray hair, they say, these ones will have a lot of money. It's true. I agree with it. Somebody say, but it doesn't work. That's your business. Me, I agree with it. So if you have a child or you have children that have gray hair, I think it's what you believe that will come to you. Believe that it's bringing wealth, and it will. Moderation is better than muscle. Self-control better than political power. Self-control for what I see, what I hear, what I think, what I do, what I say, what I eat, what I commit to, what I spend. Self-control is better than power any day. Self-control is better than power, political power, and moderation better than muscle. Finally, verse 33 says, make your motions, cast your votes, but Jehovah has the final say. Make your motions, prepare your speeches, cast your votes, but God has the final say. So we will trust him and stay with him, stay committed to him. I remember now, Israel Alabi, where's that question? Please copy and paste it here. Let me find it. There was a question that was posted the day Richmond was here. And I had promised that when I was speaking, I would deal with it. So let's respond to that now before we close. It says here, Coach Richmond Osuji mentioned that even if your good ideas are not being accepted, you should try your best to be a team player. I've been in a situation where the leader downplays other people's suggestions and loves to pass it off as his. When he eventually uses the idea, he wouldn't acknowledge the source of the idea at all. How can one work with such a leader and be a team player in this kind of situation? Different ways. Number one, working in an environment where you are not appreciated for your contribution, but you can see your contributions make difference, is proof that you know what you're doing. So when you are applying to another organization, for example, you would say, I was part of the team that created so and so solution. You may not be able to say you created it, but you say, I was part of that team that created this solution. You have been there. Your idea has given the results. Whether you got the credit or not, you've gotten proof of concept. That's one way to look at it. So whether they give me the credit or not, at least I know that my ideas are valid. Two, Dale Carnegie will say, appeal to nobler motives. The noble motive here, one of the noble motives here could be You want your idea to take your organization from here to here, regardless of who gets the credit, at least for a time. And guess what? That reduces the strain on you, the pain you feel when your ideas are used and you're not given credits, because your mind, the insight you are working with is, I am doing this for posterity. I'm doing this for the betterment of the organization. I'm doing this for the betterment of the world. Whether I get the credit or not is okay. Now, depending also on the structure of the organization where you work, if you would learn the art of sending emails rather than WhatsApp chats and only phone calls, where people are copied in mails, I'm just beginning to learn that. It's such a big tool, where when you're putting the idea forward, you're putting it through email and you're copying the right people in it. You're sending it to this person, but other people are putting copy. There's proof, audit proof that you generated this conversation, should you ever need to prove it anywhere. So we've had the physical conversation, we spoke, and then you send the email. Sequel to our conversation this afternoon, where I suggested we do this, we appreciate your insights toward this and that, and we look to this. You've just put it in a trail. Me, I'm only learning it now. I didn't know it before. So there are times that I've lost out. I'm not necessarily lost out. Missed out on certain things because there was no trail. I was busy doing WhatsApp and phone calls. Now we are learning to elevate. Use email trails. And then know when it is time to leave. There is a time and season for everything. Know when it is time. If your pain and your discomfort within a team is causing you to reduce your contributions, it's causing you to reduce your light, then perhaps it's time to leave. Perhaps your usefulness has been exhausted. Perhaps it is time to elevate to another place where the appreciation for you will be more, because many of us do have, as humans, we have the need to be appreciated, to be seen, to be heard, to be regarded. So it might be time to leave. There's an exit point, there's an expiry date for everything. So determine if that is your time. I've been here for 1 year, for 2 years, for 4 years, and I constantly feel trampled on. So it is time for you to start keeping together records of all your achievements so you can update your pitch deck, aka your curriculum vitae, aka your resume. That's your pitch deck. And send it to the next set of people who hopefully will value you more. It's not really a place for confrontation. Finally, I would say, I think we've talked about this on Wiser other years, the art of appreciating yourself. Learn to be a self-congratulator. When you've done something and it works, stand in front of your mirror, praise yourself, appreciate yourself, give yourself plaque, give yourself award, celebrate your win, and be all right with it. The more you celebrate yourself, give it time, the world will join you in celebrating you. Ask Ronaldo. Ask David Beckham. When you know how to celebrate your own wins, after a while, the world will join you in celebrating your wins if they're wins for real. So learn it. Learn it. It's a tool that we all need, because there will be many times we will do good for the people we work with, the people we love, the communities we're trying to empower, and we will get no thanks. And that has the potential to stress us, make us feel bad, break us. Enter your room and congratulate yourself. According to Snoop Doggy Dogg, I thank me. I thank me for showing up. I thank me. Go and find that short video. Well, it's the short part of a longer video. I think it's on YouTube. It's all over. Snoop Doggy Dogg thanking me. Go and watch it and learn. I thank me for showing up. So learn to thank yourself from time to time for doing what you have done and you have done right. You feel your mind to the point where you are no longer worried or concerned whether someone else appreciated you or not. And even if they didn't, it would be misbehavior on their part. If they knew better, they would have done better. But guess what? I have thanked me. I thank me. So I thank me for showing up today as much as I thank you for showing up today, because we together smashed the goal. We had said we'll be here today and we'll be here. I'll leave you with this word. If you will show up in your business, in your career, the way you have shown up at Wiser, 2024 will be an unmatched year for you. That's what I said to myself yesterday, that the way I have showed up for Wiser, even the days, I told you I don't normally wake up early, even the days where I was so tired, but I've gotten up, including a day like today. I've gotten up and I've showed up. I have studied the word before and prepared. Joyce, this is the first time I'm even saying it. I've never even said it any year before. It never really, really crossed my mind like this. Next year, in fact, not just next year, from now, I'm showing up for my business the way I show up for Wiser. Early, every day, straight to the point, boom, I will show up. Imagine if there are 31 days like this, I am showing up with specific to do on my job. And I say 1 hour every day, I will do this on my job for 31 days. I will blow now. So let's together get ready for this showing up that we are thanking ourselves. We'll thank ourselves in 2024 because we'll show up for the other things that matter to us. I love you so much. And I thank you for being here. Tomorrow, we're going to have my brother, Othman Abdul Rashid. Since Wiser 2020, I've always wanted a Muslim, a practicing, proud Muslim to speak on Wiser, because as much as we are taking the learnings from the Bible, the learnings are universal across religions, across gender, across economic status and strata. And I'm happy that the moment I mentioned to him, he was like, sis, I'm so showing up. So, and when he came back to me some days after, I said, look, I'm taking verse 17. Man, that I'm taking chapter 17. That chapter is deep. Is deep. We're going to dig in. So tomorrow, please come ready for Othman Abdul Rashid. Oh, I can't wait. See you all tomorrow. Bye for now. Have a great Saturday.